Traveling is our greatest passion. It's thrilling to see new places, meet new people, and learn about different cultures and traditions. Sadly, some countries are not safe to travel to due to violence, unsanitary water, and deficient healthcare systems. Some countries are better off left alone. In today's list, we'll be giving you the top 10 places not to travel to in 2021. Before we jump into it, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn your notifications on so that you don't miss any of our new videos. Number 1 on our list, Brazil. Brazil is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. It has biodiversity, the iconic Christ statue at the top of Mount Corcovado, the Amazon rainforest, and the Rio Carnival. The WEF agrees in the Travel and Tourism Competitiveness Report 2017 that Brazil takes the first place in the 136 country listing for natural resources. The country is one of those land masses that is way too big to describe in a single sentence. As tempting as it is to visit this country for a jungle experience, it is not recommended to visit Brazil during the COVID-19 pandemic. Brazil is going through a very difficult time during the pandemic, reaching over 18 million positive cases and 500,000 deaths. Crime is also rife in Brazil. It has one of the highest rates of murder and theft in the world. Brazil has reopened its borders to tourism since July 2020. Travel there at your own peril. Number 2, Afghanistan. Afghanistan has a horrific reputation because of sectarian killings, but this country is beautiful in its own way. Afghanistan is historically blended at the crossroads of multiple peoples and cultures, from the Silk Road to the Soviet invasion. This landlocked country has some beautiful cities, from Jalalabad in the eastern part to Balkh in the northern part. These cities are full of historic monuments of significant cultural importance, such as the Greco-Buddhist site of Hada and the Arya Samaj temple in Jalalabad. Then there's the shrine of Hazrat Ali and Haji Playada in Balkh. The Hindu Kush mountain range is awe-inspiring. It is, however, strongly advised not to travel to Afghanistan. Due to COVID-19, terrorism, religious extremism, crime, civil unrest, kidnapping, and armed conflict, this country is extremely dangerous. Next up at number 3, Kosovo. Located in the Balkans region of Europe, Kosovo is a self-declared country. The first thing that jumps into our head about Kosovo is the horrible Kosovo War, but there is so much more history to discover. Kosovo is scenic, stands out in many ways. Its people are extremely hospitable, friendly, and very talkative. They have a strong culture and identity, and you can tell that Kosovars are proud of their heritage. The area of Kosovo has been inhabited for thousands of years. Several empires and peoples have roamed these lands, and you can see parts from different eras while traveling around the country. It's also one of the cheapest countries in Europe to visit. You can get a full meal for under $3. The countryside is beautiful, with cows and goats walking freely around the landscapes, looking very happy. Kosovo has natural beauty you can find all over the country, ranging from mountains to lakes and waterfalls. The Fierza Reservoir and the Gazivoda Lake are dreams come true. So what exactly makes this country dangerous to travel to? There's an ongoing risk of political and interethnic violence in northern Kosovo and along the borders. Kosovo has a level 3 corona risk according to the CDC. You should wait until the pandemic is over and you are fully vaccinated before traveling to Kosovo. Number 4, Yemen. Yemen is an extremely risky country to travel to. Most airlines don't even fly there anymore. But before we tell you why they don't, let's first talk about Yemen's beautiful sites that no one ever talks about. Yemen, located in the Middle East region of Asia, is a country with interesting man-made structures. The Sira Castle, the old city of Sana'a, and the Gundan Palace are all magnificent. Yemen also has diverse landscapes with river valleys, mountainous terrains, and beautiful coastlines. Let's not even get started on the picturesque Rokeb di Firmihin trees, also known as the Forest of Dragon's Blood trees. So what makes Yemen a high-risk country? Dangers such as civil unrest, health risks, mass starvation and misery, kidnapping, armed conflict, and landmines make the country extremely volatile. Terrorists may attack with little or no warning, targeting public sites, transportation hubs, markets, shopping malls, and local government facilities. That really doesn't sound like it's worth it. What do you guys think? Next up on our list at number 5, Somalia. Somalia makes us think pirates, right? That might be true, but there are some special traits about this country that we feel we must discuss before we get into its problems. Somalia's beaches line the Indian Ocean in the east and are protected by a coral reef running from Mogadishu to the Kenyan border in the south. White sandy beaches and simmering Sion seas offer a picture of paradise, whilst ghostly stretches of abandoned war-torn buildings have their own atmosphere. Ranging from the urban sprawl of Mogadishu to the cloud-topped, camel-spotted peaks of the Kalmadao Ranges in the north, this country is untouched and undeveloped, a picture of what Africa once was before the onset of mass safari-going. Coming back to the country's bad side, Somalia is dangerous because of crime, terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, piracy, and health issues such as COVID-19. If you travel there, you can wind up seriously hurt or killed. Choose a different destination, okay? Number 6, 6. Nigeria. This African country is another crime-ridden disaster, but various unique traits draw tourists from time to time. These traits include over 200 ethnic groups speaking over 500 languages, a warm tropical climate, a wide variety of cultures, striking art, music, fashion, and food. From sun-kissed coastlines, beaches, waterfalls, nature, springs, and magnificent plateaus, Nigeria is simply breathtaking. What's not so breathtaking and what might cause you to take your last breath is a violent assault, an armed robbery, a kidnapping for ransom, home invasions, or a carjacking. Criminal activity is everywhere in this country. Thinking of visiting Nigeria? Think again. Number 7. Georgia. We're not talking about the southern state of Georgia. There's also an Eastern European country called Georgia. Georgia is simply stunning, but deadly. With its ancient Byzantine monasteries, the choral music is haunting, the towering peaks of the Caucasus, and traditional wine culture, Georgia is exciting and fascinating. Its capital, Tbilisi, lies on the banks of the McCarvey River, also known as the Kura River. It is surrounded by hills and mountains. Pine forests are draped across more than 40% of Georgia and being the major part of the mountainous area. It has been the capital of Georgia since the 6th century, and its diverse architecture reflects its long and complicated history. But there's a downside. From car bombs to terrorist attacks, these are reported periodically in Abkhazia and South Ossetia, and there are unexploded landmines too. Just don't visit these areas and you'll be fine. Just don't travel from Russia into Georgia, as that's illegal under Georgian law. Number 8. Mali. Mali offers a blissful retreat to tourists with its unique melange of bizarre landscapes, beautiful artwork, spectacular mosques made entirely of mud, pink sandstone villages, and long stretches of undulating deserts. Unfortunately, few ever get to see these beautiful attractions because of the conflict in the country. Mali has frequent and severe droughts, and the country was hit hard by COVID-19, which has impacted every centimeter of the country. The coronavirus has shattered Mali's already precarious healthcare system. No ventilators here for the unwary tourist. Fancy a quick, refreshing clip in a Mali river? I wouldn't recommend that, but the crocodiles might disagree. Number 9. South Sudan. This one comes as no surprise, as South Sudan is always in the headlines. Before we talk about these issues, let's look at some of the nicer things this country has to offer. South Sudan has pristine wilderness and isolated and rare cultural groups that have not been affected by technology. Juba is the capital and one of the fastest growing cities in Africa. It has good accommodation facilities. For the best view of the city, you can hike up to the top of Jebel Kujer Mountain. This mountain is only 684 meters high. The Boma National Park is also an amazing place to visit. It is the largest park in Africa. It covers an area of 22,800 square kilometers. The world's greatest wildlife migration occurs in the park. Roughly 2 million gazelles, cobs, and other antelope species migrate from the Suds and Bandigilo National Park to Boma National Park and then to Ethiopia. The animal movement is dictated by the coming rains. During the dry months of November up to January, the animals migrate back again to enjoy fresh green pastures following the flooding of the Nile River. Boma National Park has over 7,000 elephants, baboons, giraffes, and oryx. It would be a dream come true to see this park, but sadly, factors such as political conflict, economic woes, drought, massive displacement, raging violence, and food shortages make that dream impossible. Thousands of people have been killed in South Sudan since the violence began in December 2013. Intercommunal and criminal violence and fighting between armed groups continue across the country. There's a serious risk of attacks on civilians. National or international events could prompt attacks on foreigners. It's so depressing. Just move on. Last on our list at number 10, Venezuela. Venezuela is a country of beautiful landscapes and surprising sights from the coast to the mountaintops. Magnificent waterfalls tumble off tabletop mountains, and coastal towns and offshore islands offer pleasant escapes and soft sand beaches. Venezuela, however, is a violent place with unstable political and economic situations. There's a huge decline in basic living conditions, including shortages of medication, gasoline, and water. It has the highest murder rate in the world. Armed robbery, mugging, carjacking, and burglary are all common and often accompanied by extreme levels of violence. Yikes, just go somewhere else. So that's it for today. Stay safe, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more of our videos. Like the video and leave us a comment down below in the comments section. Until next time.